For most of Assassin's Creed's history, it's never really been known as a franchise that has that many mods to begin with. Usually modding as a form of increasing the game's quality and enjoyment for a player base was something that was kind of reserved for Fallout or GTA, the kind of franchises where the developers themselves supported modding, encouraged modding, and understood that it was a huge part of the community. It was always something that I was extremely jealous of as a Assassin's Creed fan. All these years where I would watch YouTube videos with the craziest Fallout or Skyrim mods or the craziest GTA mods, then looking on the internet for Assassin's Creed mods and not really finding anything outside of a reshade or one or two outfit swaps. And until the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, this was the case with Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft clearly was very protective of its source code, of its games, and it really didn't want anyone making mods that could affect its business model or its game. I don't really understand this because I think that allowing modding kind of increases dedication of a community, the enjoyment and longevity of the games, and I think that overall modding a game, as long as, you know, it's not detracting from the revenue of the game owners, which is Ubisoft, is only a positive thing. But for the most part, didn't really allow for any innovation within the games or any tweaking of the old games to kind of modernize them or bring them up to speed. However, there is one tool that I don't know how many of you are familiar with that allowed a subsequent legion of modders to make some real serious improvements within Assassin's Creed. And when I talk about Assassin's Creed, I'm actually talking about the entire franchise. So a guy made a tool called the Anvil toolkit, which kind of allowed a lot of modders to make small but decent changes to a lot of things in the game, from outfits and character models to animations and a bunch of other things. And since then, more and more modders have been slowly attracted to Assassin's Creed as a place for modding. And the more that the Anvil toolkit has advanced and the more that more modders have come, the Assassin's Creed franchise has suddenly become one that can actually improve with mods. And I wanted to make this video just to basically tell you about a few mods that I like, not specifically, but just overall in the games, and why it's so important further than just like, oh, now we can change the game. I believe that if you want to fall in love with this franchise again, the way that you probably did when you were younger, and the new games aren't really doing that for you, the solution to this, I promise you, is mods. It's going to make you feel like a kid again discovering the franchise for the first time. It's going to make you feel immersed and excited about everything. And obviously this is PC players. If you're a console player, then, you know, I'm sorry, this video is just going to make you sad. But there are a lot of videos online where you can just vicariously enjoy other people playing with mods. So the most popular mod that there is in the Assassin's Creed franchise right now, is probably the first one I'm going to talk about, is Assassin's Creed Unity fixes. The reason why this mod is so important is twofold. One is because it actually fixes Assassin's Creed Unity. Obviously it still has its foundational problems, but the amount of improvements that this mod allows for is actually insane. If you're playing Assassin's Creed Unity unmodded right now, you're basically missing out and you're not playing the version of Assassin's Creed Unity that to me is the ultimate version. ACU fixes allows you to change the weather, kill enemies from I don't know how many other angles, like shooting while you're doing a leap of faith or throwing bombs from a haystack or any other sort of hiding place. It allows you to use the parkour more freely, to do swings, to do dives, to do some special parkour moves that are usually much more rare. It allows you to basically enjoy Assassin's Creed Unity how it feels it should have been released in the first place, giving you a lot more flexibility in how you use the gameplay and how you immerse yourself in this world, controlling the weather, the time of day, and other things. It's probably the single most impressive mod that I've seen within the Assassin's Creed community, and it led to influx of other modders who started changing other games for the better. For example, Assassin's Creed Mirage also has a parkour mod. It has a mod that allows you to change all the outfits at once and create combinations of the outfits that you like in any combination you like. In Assassin's Creed Unity, you can do the same. There's an outfit modder, there's a New Game Plus that you can use, there's a transmog mod, and there's just mods that improve the quality of life and make these games a much higher quality than they would have been. Now, the reason why I'm going really fast throughout all of these mods and just like speed running through them, speed dating through these mods, is because these mods themselves don't really matter. If you want to discover these mods, just go to nexusmods.com and go to any Assassin's Creed game that you like and look at these mods. You'll be surprised by how many are being added every day that change small things like a weapon mesh to things like different character models and outfits to outright influencing the gameplay. And this latter one is the one that's more recent. Usually mods just did cosmetic changes, but now you're actually influencing the gameplay with what you're doing. So the reason why I'm going really fast is because it's not really important what mods are being done. It's important that mods just are being done, and mods that are changing the gameplay and the quality of life of these games. Because one thing that I've always wished Ubisoft would do, that other franchises do, is care about their games further than 1 or 2 years after their launch. Some of the games that Ubisoft have made, whether you hate Ubisoft now or not, are truly, truly immortal. Especially Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed Revelations are games that live in the hearts of many, many people. But they weren't really taken care of in that way. They weren't given the infrastructure or the ability for the community or for Ubisoft to take care of these games and keep improving these games past their release. And I think that's a huge mistake, because right now, if you play any of these games unmodded, you're actually actually probably going to feel like they're a little bit outdated, and you're not going to be able to enjoy them, in my opinion, the way that you should if you just made a few tweaks and brought them up to speed. Bear in mind that Ubisoft has actually made remasters for these games, and all they did was basically just add a filter on top of these games. There wasn't really a lot of changes in terms of gameplay apart from in Assassin's Creed 3, but really not even there all that much. Then modders came and added the vaulting mechanic from AC1 into AC2 to Revelations. So now the parkour in AC2 Brotherhood and Revelations is as good if not better than Assassin's Creed 1 because it has another mechanic that you can use. I think it now has controlled descent or a million other ways to improve the parkour and add more depth to the parkour system that was already quite perfect. Imagine if this was something that all players could enjoy more seamlessly. Imagine that Ubisoft as a company decided that they wanted a team to kind of keep up these traditional games, if they were going to remaster them especially, to change the gameplay and modernize them. There's a lot of rumor and a lot of talk of remakes being made for Assassin's Creed. Before, it was confirmed that Assassin's Creed Black Flag was going to be remade, and then apparently there's a rumor that more than just one Assassin's Creed game is going to be remade. Hopefully Assassin's Creed 1, but who knows. And even though this is initially pretty exciting news, the reason why I'm skeptical is exactly because of this reason. It's exactly why I'm telling you to go and use mods instead of just wait for a remake. Because the community is so passionate about this project that they're going to make not only some changes, but the right changes. Assassin's Creed fans understand what Assassin's Creed games were missing. They understood that a very simple mechanic like a vaulting mechanic from Assassin's Creed 1 really needed to be in Assassin's Creed 2 through Revelations. Name Taken, the author of the ACU Fixes mod, understood what Unity needed to improve that game experience. That only comes with a care and dedication that you simply cannot fake. It's a care and dedication that comes from the heart. It comes from playing the game day in, day out, and trying to understand what could make it better and what already makes it good and enjoyable. Why you're addicted to this game, why you're enjoying it, and how you could enjoy it more. Now, when it comes to a remake, first of all, clearly a remaster is not enough for that to happen. Assassin's Creed 3 had one or two gameplay changes that came with the remaster that do help a lot, but doesn't really go far enough. The Ezio Trilogy remaster was literally just a reshade, a reskin, and it wasn't much else. So clearly there isn't that effort, unless there's a financial incentive, to bring these games up to the modern standard. And that's why I'm a little bit nervous about these remakes, because no matter how much you remake a game from scratch, with a new engine or the same engine, with new graphics, with new mechanics, with a new story or a different story, with new voice actors or different voice actors, it doesn't really matter unless you understand what made the original game great. And I do not have the confidence right now that Ubisoft has that understanding the way that modders do. Modders are the only ones in the community, both on the publishing and business side like Ubisoft and also on the fan side, that truly understand what these games need to be better, because they're actually implementing those changes, and they're succeeding at implementing those changes, and they're succeeding at improving the immersion and the enjoyment of these games. That's something that Ubisoft cannot say for themselves, and that's something that is going to really hinder them when it comes to making all these remakes and trying to re-release these games and trying to recapture the imagination and enjoyment of all these fans. So of course I have my fingers crossed for all these Assassin's Creed remakes to recapture the love that we had in the originals. Hopefully Assassin's Creed Red is great and we all fall in love with every Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft makes. But judging from the small actions that you see day to day, month to month, year to year, I believe that right now if you want to fall in love with the franchise again, you need to trust in modders and use their mods. Support them in any way you can, whether it's sharing their work or supporting them through, paying them commissions or donating on Nexus Mods. But whatever you do, try and encourage the work that modders do, because it's really sometimes a thankless job and sometimes they get the respect they deserve. But either way, it's a difficult job that they shouldn't be the ones doing, but they do end up doing it just out of pure passion. If you haven't tried these mods out yet, if you have a PC but haven't tried mods, or if you want to watch these mods on YouTube, if you don't have a PC, please do so, because I think that you'll be extremely surprised at what these people have been able to do over the past few years. And nothing but respect from me as a player, but also as a fan who wants to immerse myself in these games and not just enjoy the gameplay. I really do feel so much more immersed thanks to the changes that they make cosmetically and also in terms of gameplay. If you want to watch a video where I discuss some features that I would love for Ubisoft to bring back that probably modders couldn't do, you can watch this video now.